The day Wet Sheen comes back is the day world peace comes back. 165 days. A lot has happened since Wet Sheen has left. Charlie Kirk, David, Ozzy Osbourne, Israel and Iran. A whole lot of things have happened. Every day, I was asked,
"Oh, where's Wet Sheen? Where's Wet Sheen?"
When is Wet Sheen?
When is Goon Sheen?
For fuck's sake, let's go!
no one asked, how is Wet Sheen? I'm here to give you the answer. I'm doing pretty fine, actually. How are you? Epic Mickey, God, I bet none of us have heard that name in a while. I analysed this franchise deeply in the past year. We said almost a year since the so-called savior of the franchise released, and we've got a whole lot of nothing since then. 3 patches for the game. One was because the Steam Deck version wasn't working, and layer music was messed up. It still sucks ass, balls, cock, and nuts, and all the whole shebang. But you know, this series was only dead because no one made videos on it past the release of Rebrushed. There's always just been a hidden part of this franchise though, that I haven't seen many make videos on. And even I've mentioned it before, but I'm yet to talk about it. And that is Epic Mickey Power of Illusion. Everyone loves the original Epic Mickey. Most hate the sequel. If you like it... Everyone loves the remake. But no one seems to have an opinion on Power of Illusion. It just sits in the shadow being irrelevant. But today is its lucky day. Because I'm putting it in the spotlight for all 7 people who are going to watch this vid. Today, we will go over its conception, release, story, and gameplay. Before we begin though, subscribe to the channel please. I'd appreciate it. And without further ado, for the first time in a while, let's dive in. Some context first. Epic Mickey, after having a magnificent release, Disney was looking to make a follow-up as soon as possible. So they split the team into 2 to develop the 2 other games. Epic Mickey 2, The Power of 2, and our culprit here, Epic Mickey Power of Illusion. They both released on the same day. A lot more of the team was put onto Epic Mickey 2 though, as the 3DS game got additional help from Dream Rift Studios. They basically did all the development for the game, and it was mostly just published by Disney. The game was set to be more of a spin-off, and Junction Point decided to take inspiration from an old Mickey Mouse game called Castle of Illusion, hence the name being so similar. The entire game is based off the old style with the pixel art, 2D platforming, and old villains, but they still deprive from Epic Mickey using the brush and the paint and thinner mechanic. Although, really not that much of Epic Mickey is in this game. Though, that's for later on. It was decided the big bad of this game would be classic Disney villains. It's pretty interesting, but I doubt it would fit the game. The game was made in about 2 years, and from what I've seen from like the 4 reviews made for this game, because it's so dead and unknown, it seems to be at least decent. But we'll have to dive deeper to see. After the time making the game, it released on 20th of November 2012, right before the holidays, which seems like a perfect release window, and it seemed to be. A rough estimate of how many copies were sold were around 600,000 in its lifespan. It may sound good, but just remember the 3DS sold 75 million copies. So that actually means it's not that impressive. But better than Epic Mickey 2, so that's a plus. Although it's like the lowest bar ever. It's not really impressive to do. Like, you genuinely say, what kind of scheme do you think you're playing out here? Do you think you're better than everyone else at Epic Mickey? What kind of power do you think you're on? But all jokes aside, the launch of this game was decent. No huge coverage, but still a bunch of copies were sold. So that's a plus in everyone else's books. The gameplay of this game is pretty simple. It plays just like a normal 2D platform with, you know, jumping, walking, you know, that's really it, now that I think about it. But the kicker is, you have a paintbrush, oh my god! Like, that's never been done before. Except, instead of using motion controls or a weird camera and cursor hybrid like in Epic Mickey 2, you instead do something much more revolutionary. Something so crazy you might not even be able to take it. The perfect mechanic that this game uses is completely halting the game every time you need to paint or thin something. You're trying to thin something, boom! It takes you to a different screen. A minigame-like section where you just put your grubby little fat fingers to wipe the thinner all over the outline of an object. This is genuinely the running for the worst adaptation of a mechanic. You had a perfect mechanic, then you ruined it somehow, then you ruined it again, somehow made it worse. That's genuinely impressive. How? Like all the people that worked in this game. Like, look at this guy. Garmin. Whoa. Okay, Garmin. Save video. That's genuinely impressive. Maybe if you spent as much time on good mechanics as you did bad ones, you'd have a great game instead of this fucking garbage. Seriously though, the game is so slow every time you need to use the main mechanic of the game. So it's so common in every level, just slowing down the game. Part of me believes this is done to stretch out the playtime. Otherwise it'd be like 40 minutes instead of 2 hours. The game is spent so long on painting like, brother in Christ, what am I supposed to do? Are we seriously going to associate this game with the holy grail that is Epic Mickey? Maybe with Epic Mickey 2, because that's like the special sibling. But that doesn't even deserve to have Epic in it. Though, still maybe some hope. Does it have some great world building and lore? Our story begins with Mickey being contacted by Oswald on the TV Gus used in the beginning of Epic Mickey 2. Which, side note, I've always seen this TV as a nice plot device. The fact that they acknowledged Mickey's mirror wasn't an option anymore instead of retconning it, I really like that. So, plus for them. And they brought it back for the spin-off, released on the same day. Dude, like, what are the odds? How do they remember that? Infants. But since the other characters, like baby infants, they can't do anything with the help of the mouse. But according to Oswald, there's a strange new villain in Wasteland called Mitzrabel. I'm getting flashbacks.
Zermam. Why has he got such a weird name?
She has built the Castle of Illusion castle in Wasteland and has been trapping people in magical illusions, whatever that means. But Mickey wastes no time and travels to Wasteland, entering the castle to see what's going on. That the rooms look like different Disney worlds made by the magic she holds. Mitzrabel is revealed to be trapping these characters because she wants to steal their money and fund her Maleficent cosplay, in which she will gain power and influence if she wears the same cologne as Maleficent. A foolproof plan if you ask me, to be honest. The key to being better is just not being yourself. Throughout Mickey saving people, he comes across some of his friends like Donald, Goofy, Daisy, and Minnie. Fun fact, this is actually the first and only appearance of Minnie Mouse in the entirety of Epic Mickey. She was originally planned in Epic Mickey 2 to be alongside Mickey, Oswald, and also Hortensia. But we know Hortensia was scrapped to put her in Epic Mickey 3 as a fully fledged character instead. But it's unknown why Minnie was scrapped, though I'm sure you all know this fact because you've obviously seen my Epic Mickey 2 video. If you haven't, then you're the weakest link. Minnie doesn't make much of an appearance in this game either. She's like the final person to be freed. After confronting Mitzrabel, who has successfully funded her cosplay and is made more powerful, Mickey just sprays acid in her eyes and then she is defeated. Her cosplay is destroyed and she reverts back to being a weak hag. The castle fades away and Mickey is crowned a hero of Wasteland for the 3rd time. And they all lived happily ever after with a cherry on top. Mwah, this is the best story ever. Okay. This has to be one of the most mid stories ever! We are talking about Epic Mickey here. Not just a random indie game. This is the biggest mascot and biggest company in the world. And they come up with this? Disney's all about stories. How do they create such amazing stories and then they make this? I know it was developed as a spin-off, but dude, they still could have done so much better. They had so much more potential bringing back old Disney characters. But they just made a mid-linear equation. For fuck's sake, the reason Epic Mickey 1 was so good was the story and creative mechanics. Both the sequel and the spin-off failed to innovate enough to be interesting to players old and new. The spin-off does it worse than the sequel ever did. You can look at Epic Mickey 2 video and take those criticisms I had and multiply them by 100 because this game brings out the worst in people. Epic Mickey 2 feels like a perfect game compared to this, but it's not because Epic Mickey 2 is horrible as well. Epic Mickey crafted such a world that could be built for games on end, but the rush time ruined everything. That's why Epic Mickey 2 sucked, because it didn't have enough time to perfect it like the first game. But this spin-off, it's bad for no reason. It's just bad because it can be. There's no fucking excuse for this game. It just lies as a brown stain on the otherwise great franchise. Heck, even the books did good, the merch did good, the original did good, the sequel did okay. The community loves this game and its entire world. But this game, it just stands as an awful crime to Epic Mickey. I hear nobody talk about this game with good reason. Maybe this game needs to go beyond Wasteland. The whole game stands as an example of why you shouldn't let another company make your sequels. This genuinely is a mistake to the video game franchise, and I'm sorry to everybody. Also, side note, What two characters do you think of when I say Epic Mickey? Maybe Mickey Mouse, maybe even Oswald. Have you noticed that Oswald was mentioned once in this entire video? Do you wonder why that is? Because Oswald appears in the intro to this game and the ending. That's it. You can count his appearances in this game on one hand. It's a complete joke. First game, he's an important part of the story, literally coming up with 2 plans for you to escape Wasteland, and in turn he gets his life back and makes amends with Mickey. Second game, he's promoted to a playable character who is vital to the game as well. But this game, they don't mention him at all past the cutscenes. I don't even think he appears in-game. He's literally nothing more than a tour guide to the intro, and congrats you for the ending you got. It's so dumb how Epic Mickey was stripped down to this. A franchise clearly made with love, broken down into a rushed, sloppy game. Epic Mickey was bound to end in any timeline if this is how the games would turn out. It's sad to see, honestly. I really wonder what Warren would have done if he had the proper time and freedom to make his dream. But that, alas, is something we may never see, as nothing has been heard since Rebrush just quietly came out on September 24th. Maybe I just need to stop holding on to nostalgia and accept that this franchise is dead. Thank you everyone for... This is genuinely a mistake to make a video on this. I am so sorry to everyone. This is a huge stain on video games as in general. This might be worse than E.T. guys. Believe me. Thank you for watching this video everyone. I'm sorry I was gone for so long, but I hope this is a step on content I normally make. And I hope to see you all soon.
No, that's it.
That's it, actually.
She's a 10.
It's a 10.
This is so crazy.
And thank you to Hamish Hardican for doing everything!